Hello. Welcome to today's Daily Bible Bite. We're going to be reading from the Old Testament and the New Testament today, getting you through the Bible in just minutes a day, Monday to Friday. We should be through it in about a year. So Luke chapter 11 is where we're going to be today. The Gospel according to Luke is the the third book of the New Testament. And then we're looking at chapter 11, starting at verse 29 today. And here's what it says there. When the crowds were increasing, he began to say, "This generation is an evil generation. It seeks for a sign, but no sign will be given to it except the sign of Jonah. For as Jonah became a sign to the people of Nineveh, so will the Son of Man be to this generation. The queen of the south will rise up at the judgment with the men of this generation and condemn them. For she came from the ends of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And behold, something greater than Solomon is here. The men of Nineveh will rise up at the judgment with this generation and condemn it, for they repented at the preaching of Jonah. And behold, something greater than Jonah is here." Then he said in verse 33, "No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it in a cellar or under a basket, but on a stand so that those who enter may see the light. Your eye is the lamp of your body. When your eye is healthy, your whole body is full of light. But when it is bad, your body is full of darkness. Therefore, be careful lest the light in you be darkness." Verse 36 says, "If then your whole body is full of light, having no part of dark, it will be wholly bright, as when a lamp with its rays gives you light." Now, while Jesus was speaking, it tells us in verse 37, a Pharisee asked him to dine with him. And so he went and he reclined at table, and the Pharisee was astonished to see that he did not wash first before dining. And then the Lord said to him, "Now you Pharisees cleanse the outside of the cup and of the dish, but inside you are full of greed and wickedness. You fools, did not he who made the outside make the inside also? But give as alms those things that are within, and behold, everything is clean for you." Verse 42 says, "But woe to you, Pharisees, for you tithe mint and rue and every herb, and neglect justice and the love of God. Those you ought to have done without neglecting the others. Woe to you, Pharisees, for you love the best seat in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplaces." Verse 44 says, "Woe to you, for you are like unmarked graves, and people walk over them without knowing it." Verse 45 says, "One of the lawyers answered him, 'Teacher, in saying these things, you insult us also.' And he said, 'Woe to you, lawyers also, for you load people with burdens hard to bear, and you yourselves do not touch the burdens with one of your fingers.' In verse 47, "Woe to you, for you build the tombs of the prophets whom your fathers killed." Verse 48 says, "So you are witnesses, and you consent to the deeds of your fathers, for they killed them, and you build their tombs. Therefore also the wisdom of God said, I will send them prophets and apostles, some of whom they will kill and persecute, so that the blood of all the prophets shed from the foundation of the world may be charged against this generation. From the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, who perished between the altar and the sanctuary, yes, I tell you, it will be required of this generation. Woe to you, lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. You did not enter yourselves, and you hindered those who are entering." Isn't that something? Now Jesus, when he said all the prophets, he counted from Abel to Zechariah. Did you see that in verse 51? So Zechariah, who perished between the altar and the sanctuary, I believe that comes from 2 Chronicles. And so Jesus, in his reading of the Bible, counts time from creation, right? From Adam, right? From Abraham, Abel, Adam's son, Abel, to Zechariah, who you read about in 2 Chronicles. We're going to read through all of that. So verse 53 says, "As he went away from there, the scribes and the Pharisees began to press him hard and to provoke him to speak about many things. lying in wait for him to catch him in something he might say. So these guys are out to get him. He sees them coming. Now, the Song of Solomon, we're reading this element of romantic poetry that comes to us in the scripture. It's in the Old Testament, and it comes after Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and then Song of Solomon. And we're looking at chapter 5 today. Here's what it says. I came to my garden, my sister, my bride. I gathered my myrrh with my spice. I ate my honeycomb with my honey. I drank my wine with my milk. Then maybe others speak. Eat, friends, drink, and be drunk with love. And then the bride speaks. I slept, but my heart was awake. A sound, my beloved is knocking. Open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my perfect one, for my head is wet with dew, my locks with the drops of the night. I had put off my garment. How could I put it on? I had bathed my feet. How could I soil them? My beloved put his hand to the latch, and my heart was thrilled within me. I arose to open to my beloved, and my hands dripped with myrrh, my fingers with liquid myrrh on the handles of the bolt. I opened to my beloved, but my beloved had turned and gone. My soul failed me when he spoke. I sought him, but found him not. I called him, but gave no answer. The watchmen found me as they went about the city, and they beat me, they bruised me, they took away my veil, those watchmen of the walls. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, that you tell him, I am sick with love. And then perhaps others answer in verse 9, what is your beloved more than another beloved, O most beautiful among women? What is your beloved more than another beloved, that you thus adjure us? And then the bride perhaps speaks again. My beloved is radiant and ruddy, distinguished among 10,000. His head is the finest gold. His looks are wavy, black as a raven. His locks are wavy, black as a raven. His eyes are like doves inside streams of water, bathed in milk, sitting beside a full pool. His cheeks are like the beds of spices, mounds of sweet-smelling herbs. His lips are lilies dripping liquid myrrh. His arms are rods of gold set with jewels. His body is polished ivory bedecked with sapphires. His legs are alabaster columns set on bases of gold. His appearance is like Lebanon, choice as the cedars. His mouth is most sweet, and he is altogether desirable. He is my beloved. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. And that is the end of chapter 5 of the Song of Solomon. So we'll continue now to Numbers chapter 28 this morning. So the fourth book of the Old Testament, chapter 28. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, command the people of Israel and say to them, my offering, my food for my offerings, my pleasing aroma, you shall be careful to offer to me at its appointed time. And you shall say to them, this is the food offering that you shall offer to the Lord, 2 male lambs, a year old without blemish, day by day, as a regular offering. 1 lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer at twilight. Also 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a grain offering, mixed with 1/4 of a hin of beaten oil. It is a regular burnt offering which was ordained at Mount Sinai for a pleasing aroma, a food offering of the Lord. Its drink offering shall be 1/4 of a hin for each lamb. In the holy place you shall pour out a drink offering of strong drink to the Lord. The other lamb you shall offer at twilight, like the grain offering of the morning, and like its drink offering, you shall offer it as a food offering with a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And then verse 9 we read, on the Sabbath day, 2 male lambs, a year old without blemish, and 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a grain offering, mixed with oil and its drink offering. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, beside the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. And then verse 11, at the beginnings of your months you shall offer a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 bulls from the herd, 1 ram, 7 male lambs, a year old without blemish. Also 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a grain offering, mixed with oil, for each bull, and 2/10 of a fine flour for a grain offering mixed with oil for 1 ram, and a tenth of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering for every lamb, and for a burnt offering with a pleasing aroma, a food offering to the Lord. Their drink offerings shall be half a hin of wine for a bull, a third of a hin for a ram, and a quarter of a hin for a lamb. This is the burnt offering of each month throughout the months of the year. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering to the Lord. It shall be offered besides the regular burnt offerings and its drink offerings. I think God really enjoys a bit of barbecue, don't you? I mean, there's a lot of meat on the fire here. Verse 16. On the 14th day of the first month is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of this month is a feast. And for 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. On the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and you shall not do any ordinary work, but shall offer a food offering, a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 bulls from the herd, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old, and see that they are without blemish. This is Passover, right? Also their grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah you shall offer a bull, and 2/10 of a ram, and a tenth you shall offer for each of the 7 lambs. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering to make atonement for you. You shall offer these besides the burnt offering of the morning, which is for a regular burnt offering. In the same way you shall offer daily for 7 days the food of a food offering, with pleasing aroma to the Lord. It shall be offered besides the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. And on the 7th day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall not do any ordinary work. Then verse 26 says, on the day of the first fruits, when you offer a grain offering of new grain to the Lord at your feast of weeks, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall not do any ordinary work, but shall offer a burnt offering with a pleasing aroma to the Lord, 2 bulls from the herd, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old, also their grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each bull, 2/10 for a ram, and a tenth for each of the 7 lambs, with 1 male goat to make atonement for you. Besides the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, you shall offer them and their drink offering. See that they are without blemish. That's the end of chapter 28. It's very interesting when you look at offerings and the significance of it, perhaps as a comparison to Jesus Christ, the perfect sacrifice for sin for all time. And then we're going to turn, after reading Numbers chapter 28, to Psalms chapter 50. It's 150 chapters in Psalms, so here is a third of the way through today. Psalm 50. It's a psalm of Asaph. Verse 1 says, the mighty one, God the Lord, speaks and summons the earth from the rising of the sun to its setting. Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, God shines forth. Our God comes. He does not keep silence. Before him is a devouring fire. Around him is a mighty tempest. He calls to the heavens above and to the earth that he may judge his people. Gather to me, my faithful ones, who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. The heavens declare his righteousness, for God himself is judge. Selah. Verse 7 says, hear, O my people, and I will speak. O Israel, I will testify against you. I am God, your God. Not for your sacrifices do I rebuke you. Your burnt offerings are continually before me. I will not accept a bull from your house or goats from your folds. For every beast of the forest is mine, the cattle on 1,000 hills. I know all the birds of the hills, and all that moves in the field is mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell you, for the world and its fullness are mine. Do I eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats? Offer to God a sacrifice of thanksgiving, and perform your vows to the Most High. And call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me. But to the wicked, God says, what right have you to recite my statutes or take my covenant on your lips? For you hate discipline and you cast my words behind you. If you see a thief, you are pleased with him, and you keep company with adulterers. You give your mouth free rein for evil, and your tongue frames deceit. You sit and speak against your brother. You slander your own mother's son. These things you have done, and I have been silent. You thought that I was one like yourself, but now I rebuke you and lay charge before you. Mark this then, you who forget God, lest I tear you apart and there be none to deliver. The one who offers thanksgiving as his sacrifice glorifies me. The one who orders his way rightly, I will show the salvation of God. Very strong words from God. Psalm 50 is fantastic. It's not just that you're religious. It's not just that you say the right things. It's that in your heart, you've been forgiven and you love the Lord and you're thankful and you'll tell others about it. It's been a wonderful day. That's today's Daily Bible Bite. I hope you feel nourished, and we'll see you again tomorrow. For Friday is tomorrow, the last day of the week, our last Daily Bible Bite for this week. So until then, God bless you richly, my beloved. We'll see you then.